We know your parents, your mama and daddy, do not have a certain set of skills. You will get taken if you are not safe.
That you do like that. I'ma show my thing to the left, though.
International banana.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Samira Walu, and thanks for tuning into another video, y'all. Okay, I hope y'all having a good day. I hope y'all feel as good as I look. Don't I look like a blessing? Y'all, I'm really feeling myself today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because my lip gloss is popping, my lashes is fluttering. I don't know, but I like when my eyelashes touch my eyebrows, okay? Now, I like that, okay? And shout out to Nova Rose for giving me that.
Touch me like you need it.
As you can see by the title of this video, I'm going to give you 6 tips on how to solo travel or plan your first solo travel trip, okay? The pandemic is nowhere near an end, but borders are reopening and we got to get on, all right? People have places to go. We have people to see, things to do. And if you like me, you feel like you've been down way too long, okay? 12 years a slave. Or 6 months, whichever. So I'm gonna give you the tips so that you can plan your next successful solo trip without your auntie, without your cousins, without your tribe. Why? Because you can do this, okay? If there's a will, there's a way. And we're gonna make our way, all right? So if you wanna see more, please stay tuned and remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, let's hop on into this thing. All right, tip number 1, book the ticket. All right, once you find the location and decide on where you want to go, book the ticket, okay?
Go on, girl. What you waiting on?
No need to sit around and hesitate and talk yourself out of it. Tell yourself, oh, I'll go next month. Oh, I'll go next year. No, baby, seize the day, okay? No other day like today, all right? And there's sites out there like Skyscanner and Skiplag that are at your disposal. If you go on those sites, they'll show you the cheapest day to travel so that you can book your ticket around then. All right, I think I went to Mexico. I went from Charlotte, North Carolina to Mexico, Playa del Carmen for $200, I think, flat. $200 flat using Skyscanner. So I definitely suggest those sites. And once you book the ticket, you're forced to plan the trip. So that's why booking the ticket is number 1. All right, now let's move on to the next tip. Tip number 2, research, and more research. Once you've decided on where you want to go, once you've booked that ticket, now it's time to start planning, right? Now it's time to figure out where you're going to stay. What are you going to do? This is the moment where you do that. When making accommodations, I personally advise solo travelers to stay at hostels. Why? Because they're super affordable and you'll meet other solo travelers to trek around the city with, okay? When I was in Barcelona, I stayed at St. Christopher's Inn, all right? And I loved it, okay? It was super clean. They had activities for travelers, so they had like group sangria nights, or we all went clubbing together, which was awesome. And it allows you the opportunity to meet people from other places around the world. I met 2 girls, one from Wales and one from Chile, and me and Chile clicked tight, okay? We still in contact to this day. Hey, Nessa girl. So yeah, I definitely advise for you to check out a hostel. I don't normally advise for solo travelers to stay at Airbnbs because I just don't like the thought of someone else having a key to the house I'm staying in. But if you want to try it, then hey, go ahead and do you, but I do not advise it. I also don't suggest that you stay at a hotel unless you're staying with a large group of people, mainly because hotels are super expensive, okay? And we try to keep all our coin, all right, for our excursions, all right? We don't want to spend all that for a room that we're barely going to stay in. After choosing your accommodations, research what there is to do around the city, all right? Traveling is fun and it's an experience within itself, but solo traveling is supposed to give you perspective on yourself. Try new things, do things that you normally wouldn't do, gain perspective about yourself. And the only way you can do that is if you do things outside of the norm. But with all research, make sure that you check reviews, okay? Check reviews on top of reviews on top of reviews, especially when it comes to these hostels, okay? Don't come back to me saying, oh, well, I chose a hostel because you told me to, and they had lights. Baby girl, I wasn't on that computer with you, okay? Take that up with God because that has nothing to do with me. You should have researched better. Tip number 3, create your travel itinerary. Once you know exactly what it is that you want to do, create an organized list to set a guide for what you would like to do in the city. You can also set timelines. Doesn't have to be a strict timeline that you must adhere to, but just a timeline so you don't spend too much time in one place and don't get the most out of your trip. For example, when I was in Paris, I went to the Louvre Museum. I set aside an hour for the Louvre, but instead ended up staying 2 hours because I was just so engaged with everything going on. I ended up only having 30 minutes at the Eiffel Tower opposed to the hour that I wanted to have, but it was all good. I didn't feel slighted at all because I thoroughly enjoyed my day. All right, so the timelines, time frames, not strict adherence, just to kind of give you a guide. That's all. Tip number 4, plan transportation. Y'all want me to say it again? Plan transportation. I can't tell you how frustrating it is to go to a foreign country and not know how you're going to get around, especially when the dominant language is not English. Jesus. 2 sites that I always use to find this information is Lonely Planet and The Broke Backpacker. I'll link those sites down below so you can check those out. But really, you can look at any blog or site that you want. Just figure out how you're going to get around the city. Once you find out what works best for you, you'll cut down on anxiety, okay? And you would have created an efficiency plan. For me, when I was in London, the best way to travel was by train. It was cheap, it was fast, and it was very convenient for me. I even got to the point where I didn't need my cousin or my aunt taking me to the train station or helping me figure out my way around London. That's how easy it was, that I could do it by myself. Also, that happened in Spain. I learned how to use the metro by myself in Spain. So yeah, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. All right, so now that you have found out how you're gonna navigate around your travel city, okay, it's time to take care of a few things before you leave. So this is gonna be what the hell? Sorry, y'all. This is gonna be tip number 5. Before you leave, please, if you don't do nothing else, please call your phone service and let them know that you are going out of the country, okay? If you talk to them beforehand, you'll save yourself a headache and a plethora of international call fees, all right? They do have different plans, international call plans that they can suggest for the short term that will save you some money, and they can give you some kind of tips, tricks, and hacks so that you're not billed unknowingly. So maybe Wi-Fi calling or making sure that your cellular data doesn't turn on even when the Wi-Fi is weak. If you do not want to call your service provider, then you should definitely download WhatsApp. WhatsApp is an app that I use when I travel, even I use here to talk to my friends and family. It's a free calling app. It allows you to talk to anyone, anywhere, and it does not charge you whatsoever. Just make sure you have Wi-Fi available. Also, be sure that your emergency contact list is updated, okay? Not saying that anything is going to happen to you, but in the case that it does, we need to have those contacts readily available for EMT, first responders, or whoever show up to the scene, okay? iPhone does have a medical ID, which you designate certain contacts as the first person that the police, again, first responders, EMT, needs to call if something happens to you or you do not have identification on you, okay? Please update that list, because baby girl, we know your parents, your mama and daddy, do not have a certain set of skills. You will get taken if you are not safe, okay? Next thing, if you're like me, which I know you are, you'll want to keep your Instagram followers abreast, right? You'll want them to know what's going on, what you doing, what country you in, okay? The people need to know. The people need to see you, honey. I didn't buy this bathing suit from me. I bought it for them. So with that said, you need to make sure that you get you a nice selfie stand, okay? You can get it on Amazon. I think I got mine for like $20. You can get a nice selfie stand that turns into a selfie stick off of Amazon so that you can take all of your pictures. Of course, you can have strangers take your pictures, but if you're like me, you like to take photos where you control your own angles, okay? Because you're going to be looking good. You don't need blurry pictures. You don't need pictures that, you know, didn't capture your right side. You don't need pictures that you can't post, okay? So just take the pictures yourself. Amazon.com. I'll see if I can find it and link it in the description box, but selfie stick, that's something you definitely will need. Lastly, travel light, okay? Unless you're going for a 10-day vacation, you really don't need a lot of stuff. If you're going to an island destination, bathing suits, you know, if you're going to a location where it's a little bit colder, 1 jacket, maybe 2. You do not need to pack a lot of stuff, because once you get to that destination, you'll probably end up buying more stuff, and we need that stuff to fit inside of your suitcase, okay? We don't want any issues with TSA, okay? Because that turns into an SIO. Set it off. Last but not least, tip number 6. Do not do the following when you are solo traveling. Do not take drinks from strangers. If you walk away from a drink, do not come back to pick it up. Do not ask strangers to watch your stuff. Do not get super drunk around a group of people that you do not know. Be aware of your surroundings, and don't walk out in the streets by yourself at odd times at night. 2 a.m. to 7 a.m. You should be in your apartment, your Airbnb, your hotel, your hostel, anywhere but the street, okay? Please use common sense. Solo traveling in general is fun. You'll learn about new cultures. You'll learn about the new country. You'll learn about yourself. But please use common sense, okay? So that is my 6 tips for solo traveling or planning your next solo travel trip. I do hope those was helpful, whether you're going to a new country or the next city. I think both these tips could be used for both, essentially. So if you like this video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be back soon. I don't know what video I'm gonna be back with soon, but I'm gonna be back. So yeah, anyway, peace out.